Hey guys, welcome back to another brand new video and thanks so much for tuning in. So I'm sure that you've heard the age-old saying before that time is money, but what you might not have heard is that this can have a massive limit on your potential to earn more money. So in today's video, I'll be breaking down exactly what's wrong with the time is money mentality and how it could be holding you back from increasing your income and building your wealth. I'll also give you a few tips towards the end of the video of some ways that you can leave the time is money way of thinking behind and start earning more money in the future. So do make sure you stick around to the end of this video if you don't want to miss out on that. Also, if you're new to the channel and you're interested in learning about personal finance, investing, and anything else that will help you to increase your income, make sure you subscribe down below and also turn on those notifications so that you don't miss out on new videos every single week that are going to help you with just that. So what's wrong with time is money and how could it be holding you back? I'm going to start off by saying that there is truth to the idea that time is money. For example, when you start a new job, your boss has you sign an employment contract stating the number of hours that you need to work and the amount of money that you'll be paid for doing so, which is clearly a trade of your time in exchange for money. It's not just employees that live by this either, and it's also true for a lot of self-employed people and also small business owners too. For example, if you work for yourself as a freelance web designer, you'll still need to spend time designing websites for your clients in order to be paid. The issue with this approach to earning money is that it's clearly quite limited because there's only 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and 52 weeks in a year that are available to trade. And if we're being honest, you really can't realistically work non-stop for 24 hours a day either. So the real amount of time that most people spend physically working is usually closer to about 8 hours a day. Now, when you work for someone else as an employee, it's very difficult to get a huge pay raise because your employer has complete control over how much you get paid. Equally, if you're a freelancer, suddenly increasing your rates by 500% is probably going to drive away all of your customers. So there's still a limit on what you're able to earn. For example, if you work in a large retail store, and you decide to work extra hard one month and you manage to generate an extra £20,000 worth of sales, do you think it's likely that you're going to see a large portion of the profits that come from those sales? Now, sure, you might work for commission, in which case you'll get a small percentage of the sales. Or if you're lucky and you've got a really nice boss, you might be rewarded with a bonus for all of your hard work. But I can guarantee you that neither of these options will be in equal proportion to the amount of money that you've generated for the business. So now let's flip this example around. You're the owner of a large retail store and you have a great team in place that manages the store and operates it for you. So your time is now freed up to work on other projects or take vacations with your family, whatever it is you want to do. Then you get a call from the store manager one day who tells you that one of your employees has done a great job this month and sold an extra £20,000 worth of goods, which translates into an extra profit of £8,000 for the store. And because you're such a good boss, you decide to reward this employee for all of their hard work and give them a £2,000 bonus. But do bear in mind that this is totally up to you. You're not obliged to pay anything more than their salary, and in fact, most employers wouldn't. But you choose to look at the bigger picture and decide that not only will that employee be incentivized to keep working hard, but it could also boost the productivity of your other employees when they see that you reward hard work. So whilst you've spent the last month traveling around Europe, your store has put an extra 6 grand in your pocket and you haven't had to spend any time earning that extra money. So which of these options sounds like it has more potential to make you wealthy? As the employee, you traded 8 hours a day and a lot of hard work, and you earned your salary plus an extra 2 grand bonus for that particular month. So can you scale that further? Well, you can definitely keep working hard and generating more sales for the store, but the reality is that you have absolutely no say in where the profits go. You trade your time for money and the hope of being rewarded for any extra effort that you put in. But if you don't show up to work and put in the hours, you don't get paid. So you have no leverage in this scenario. However, as the owner of the store, you spent a lot of time at first building the business up from nothing. So now you can reap the rewards of what has developed into a really successful business, and you now have people in place to manage the whole thing for you. From where you're sitting, the store is now effectively a money-making machine that earns money for you no matter where you are or what you're doing. You leverage your employees' time and pay them to run the store for you. And in return, you benefit from the profits that the store makes without needing to trade any more of your time to earn those profits. Last month, you made an extra £6,000 thanks to one of your hardworking employees, and you didn't need to lift a finger for it. So as the owner, you keep the lion's share of the profits and you have complete control over how you spend your time. So if you wanted to, you could even open up more stores in other areas, which would increase your income even further. But as the employee, you clock in at 8 and out at 5, and you have no real control over your ability to increase your income within that job. So whilst time is money is true for this employee, it's not true for the employer. The employee's earnings are held back by time is money because there's only so much they can realistically earn by selling goods to customers from a retail store when they have no ownership interest and therefore no control over variables like pricing or advertising. If the employee breaks a leg and can't go to work for 3 months, they don't get paid. The employer, on the other hand, recognises that trading time for money is an inherently limited exchange. So this person chose to build a store and hire employees to operate it for them. The employer doesn't need to clock in every day to earn money and has 100 different levers that he or she can pull to increase profits, and therefore has direct control over how much money the business can make. So hopefully it's now clear that there's a lot more potential to get wealthy when your time is not traded for money. The idea of starting your own retail store might seem like a bit too much to begin with, but fortunately there are a few ways that you can start earning money separate from your time, and I'll share a couple of those with you now. So firstly, you can build up your passive income. Passive income is exactly what it sounds like. Income that you can earn with a very passive level of continual effort required. There are a lot of different ways that you can make passive income, and they each have different levels of passivity. So depending on how much work you're willing to put in, there's bound to be something that can work for you. I won't go into too much detail about specific examples here because I've done that already in another video, which I'll link to down in the description for you. But to give you a couple of ideas of what passive income might look like, there are things like creating and publishing content. This can be things like books, courses, or music that you spend time initially creating those things up front, but then you can sell them an unlimited number of times, an unlimited number of copies of that content for the rest of your life without a lot of extra work involved. There's also monetary investments that you can make that generate regular income for you in the form of interest and dividend payments. And there's also more hands-on projects like buying real estate and renting it out for a monthly profit. Again, I've gone into these examples and more in much more detail in another video, so the link to that one is down in the description if you want to check it out. Another thing that you can do to start getting away from time as money is to start a side hustle. The idea behind starting a side hustle is to build up a business on the side that you can work on in your spare time, either to generate some extra pocket money for you or as something that you can grow into a more serious business over time. There are a lot of different things that you can do here, but a really popular example is by selling private label products through a platform like Amazon. So you would research a product that you think has potential, add your own branding to it, and then you would be able to leverage Amazon's platform to sell that product to Amazon customers. So this is something that you could either keep as a small single product operation, or if you wanted to, you could scale it up to include even more products. You could build up the brand name, and you could even eventually move away from Amazon's platform and sell directly to your customers through your own website. Another option that you've got when it comes to separating your time from money is to start a scalable business. This is going to take the most effort and the most time investment up front, but the rewards further down the line can be really well worth it. This can be any type of business imaginable, as long as it is relevant, scalable, and you can eventually take yourself out of the day-to-day operations of the business to be able to focus on expanding it. To give you an example, a one-man brick and mortar store selling knitting supplies in the middle of a student town is unlikely to attract many customers because it's not relevant to the area. The locals in that area are predominantly students who aren't the ideal target market for a knitting shop. Knitting is also a fairly niche hobby, which limits the pool of potential customers to just those that are interested in knitting. And it's then further limited by the fact that it's a brick and mortar store. So it's only going to attract knitting enthusiasts in the local area, which really limits the ability to scale the store. On the other hand, if you were to start a clothing store in the middle of London that sold business suits, this area is relevant because there's a huge number of office workers in London. So you'd naturally get a lot of traffic through your store, as many people in that area need the product that you're selling. And this means that your store is more likely to generate enough profit to support the growth of the business. And you could gradually then expand your range of products and hire people to run that store for you. You could then use your newfound free time to open up more stores in other cities, which would further accelerate your growth. Officeware is needed by office workers all over the world. And that means that your target audience is huge, and therefore so is your potential to grow and scale that business. Now, obviously, starting a business does take a lot of work. But if you want to move away from the time as money exchange for good, then this is one of the best ways to go about it. So there you have it. I really hope you learned something new here, and feel free to leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. Also, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It only takes a couple of seconds to do, but it really does help me out, and it helps the channel to grow and reach more people too. I post a brand new video right here on the channel every single week. So if you want to be among the first to be notified when a new video drops, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also turn on those notifications by clicking the bell icon down below, and you're then going to be notified as and when new videos are released. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you right back here next time.